When I was in high school, I was always really worried about college just because I knew I was going into a competitive field. And a piece of advice I'd give myself if I was back in high school is to just relax and look at the places where you want to go, the job that you want to do, and look at people that do that and see what they did in the past to set themselves up for success.
Hello everyone, welcome to USA podcast. This morning we have a special guest, Regina. She's one of the students here at the University of Arizona and we're excited to have her. And I'm here with my colleague Nicole Camacho. And we are looking forward to learning more about what Regina has done. We recently heard that she went to Washington, D.C. And did her internship. So we just want to know how the experience was overall and what tips or advice she has for other students who are interested to take a part of such internships across the state. Regina, you're most welcome. This is USA podcast, like I said earlier. So could you please tell us what your major is and what you currently do here at the University of Arizona?
Yeah, thank you so much for the warm welcome. My name's Regina, I already mentioned, but I'm a double major in law and criminal justice with a minor in Spanish. I'm part of the exec board for Aspiring Latino Lawyers, and I'm also in a few other organizations. Other than that, this new semester I'm going to be writing for the University of Arizona Political Review, so I'm really excited about that.
That's cool. So what inspired you to take on that, your major? Not choosing anything else, but you specifically choose that one major.
My major? Yeah, so I've always wanted to pursue a legal career, especially leaning towards the criminal defense side. I grew up in a border town in Texas, and then I moved to Mexico, also another border town. So I always grew up around that community that often were susceptible to law enforcement errors, and then coming here, and I went to high school here in Tucson, which I consider a little bit of a border town. We're a little bit further away, but also seeing the other side of how things went, I observed a lot of issues that needed reform, so I wanted to be part of that change.
First, want to congratulate you on your internship at Washington, D.C. It's such a big accomplishment, especially now it's so hard to get internships or any type of job. So when did you intern in Washington, D.C., and what made you decide to pursue this opportunity?
Thank you so much. I just came back from my internship. I left mid-May. I left a little bit earlier, and then I just got back a few weeks ago. I've always wanted to pursue an opportunity where I can see how policy is made firsthand. So since August of freshman year, I knew I wanted to do that, so I started building those steps to be able to go.
Can you please tell us the day-to-day? What did you do? What time did you wake up?
Yeah, so my office was really good on hands-on for the interns. I did learn from other offices. Every office is like its own little world, so that's another piece of advice I'd give is to make sure you contact past interns and make sure that they are more hands-on, because some offices, all they did was answer the phones. But for my office, day-to-day, I would wake up at around 7 a.m., get ready, and then head to the office at 8:30. I had to be there in Congress when it was in session. And then I would go into my office, I check my teams. Usually we had to start off by attending hearings and then writing memos on the hearings. My congressman, he's part of the Defense Committee and Homeland Security, which are two that I was the main focus on. So it was helping him get ready for appropriations and then attending with him to some of his one-on-one constituents meetings.
So how was your internship experience like? Because I know most students have got these opportunities to go and do the internships in Washington, D.C., but when they look at housing costs, they look at overall, the expense, it kind of scares them to even think about going to intern in Washington, D.C. So how was your experience overall? Was it worth it, the money you spent? Because I know you spend a lot of money when it comes to transportation, housing, feeding, and all that. So was that experience really worth it?
I think it was really worth it, especially for me. I knew that I wasn't going to have a lot of money to spend like that. So I planned the steps just to make it as cheap as possible. Like for housing, I was able to find a free housing. I babysat for this family and they let me stay there for free. And then for the metro, I took the metro to work, and the House of Representatives, they do a good job with the interns, so they paid for our metro passes. And it was a paid internship, but the spending of the food is what it mostly went to. But I think if someone really wants to go, they can make it accessible. It's just being able to have enough time to look for means and knowing those ways to make it more affordable.
What was your favorite moment or memory you had during your internship?
Favorite moment? We had a lot of good moments on the job working, but I think my favorite memory was outside, just being able to meet with interns from all over the country. And it was the congressional baseball game where we all sort of met up together and were able to finally be able to relax a little bit and get to know each other more.
What advice or tips do you have for students who really want to go and intern in Washington, D.C., and something that maybe you wish somebody could have told you before going to Washington, D.C.?
So a piece of advice I would give someone, especially like you guys mentioned how competitive it is right now.
Yeah.
As a freshman applying, I knew I was going to be at a disadvantage. So something that really set me apart that my intern coordinator told me about was reaching out to the district office first and scheduling those coffee chats. For me, it was through Zoom just because it was in Texas, and getting your name known around the office so that way when you do eventually apply for the DC internship, they can sort of flag your application and they know a little bit more about you. And then a piece of advice I wish someone would have told me was how competitive it's going to be within your office, especially towards those when it's going to be a little bit fewer interns, so everyone's sort of trying to make a name for themselves. So that's a piece of advice I'd give myself.
Did you meet anyone that you were really excited to meet or hoping to meet?
Yeah, I was able to meet AOC, which I was really excited to meet. We were able to have a talk too as well. I also was able to see Bernie Sanders. Other than that, I think just everyone that I saw was honestly just a great experience. Every single day I met someone new that I had spent all my school years reading about. So that was very, I was in awe.
Really exciting that you're part of the Aspiring Latino Lawyers. So as a leader in the Aspiring Latino Lawyer Club, how do you see your role inspiring the next students?
Yeah, I think more in this University of Arizona-wise and college level-wise, especially for aspiring Latino lawyers, it is a little bit harder to be able to know the opportunities that are available for us. So being able to be totally transparent and telling people how to get to those places where they want to be and helping them out and just being able to demonstrate them that it is possible, that goes a long way.
Was public policy something you were always into, and what made you go into public policy?
Yeah, public policy is more of a newer interest. I've always been very interested in criminal reform, and that sort of expanded towards the policy aspect. So just attending more of those classes is what really brought my interest.
But I'm glad that you really had overall a very great experience going to Washington, D.C. That means the time that you had over there was really worth it. And I know when you go to a new place, a new environment, usually it comes with so much things. Either you're spending more, but even if you're spending more, at the end of the day, you're learning something new, and that's the most important thing. You're part of the Aspiring Latino Lawyers, so what do you guys do as students, and are you open to new students joining your club?
Oh yeah, we're always looking for new people to join. You don't even have to be a law major or Spanish. Just if you're interested and want to see what it's about, you can come. So we just educate people on how to pursue that legal path, especially because Latino lawyers are on the smaller percentages that are able to go to law school. So we just tell them how to make it a little bit more accessible, but we also make sure mainly we build a good community and we have fun and we just are able to support each other.
So do you kind of bring in lawyers to talk to, or do you go to the bar to just see how the whole process works?
Yeah, so we always have guest speakers.
Yeah.
This upcoming semester, we do want to plan some field trips to go to the courts and stuff, so that's definitely in the works.
I'll say that I think, okay, for most students, because we really have one of the biggest departments here at the University of Arizona who are in the law department. And if they're really kind of like interested into law, that would be one of the best place to be. Mostly the freshmen, like you said. When did you start? Did you start being part of the club when you were a freshman, or you just started?
Yeah, I started being part of the club when I came in freshman year fall semester. But you can join at any time, so there's no cut off.
Talked about double majoring in criminal justice. What made you pursue that?
Yeah, so law, it's really all the law aspect, but I really wanted to emphasize on the criminal justice, especially to be able to learn more about the reform that needs to happen. I just really wanted to be able to understand it backwards and forth.
So you're planning on going to law school?
Yes, I do.
And what type of law?
For right now, it's always been criminal law, but I'm open to doing anything civil rights.
Do you have like a dream job?
Yeah, my dream job is to be a criminal defense for the penalty for death row.
Exciting. Can you give us more information? Because I never heard about that.
Yeah, so it's not just really, you can't just focus on that unless you work for an outside organization, which is something that I really want to do. The Innocence Project, here at the law school, they actually offer it as a clinic, but you have to be a law student. But you basically work on appeals, especially something that I've always just been aware of. I think when I was little, I probably read a book or something.
Yeah.
But it's just when the DNA evidence came forward, that's science that hadn't happened before. A lot of people that were killed were proving innocent. So I just think that aspect of the law is so unjust, especially when you look at statistics. In Texas, when governors are up for re-election, more people get sent to death row. So it's just something that I've always wanted to be able to work in and provide some reform.
I think that's really exciting because it's kind of part of the humanitarian world and, justice all around. So we're coming to the end of our episode today, and we really thank you for your time. I don't know if you really have anything else or any tips, advice that you want to leave to the other students who are joining the University of Arizona, or students who are just thinking about starting school, like high school students. So do you have any tips or advice?
Yeah, I think when I was in high school, I was always really worried about college, just because I knew I was going into a competitive field. And a piece of advice I'd give myself if I was back in high school is to just relax and look at the places where you want to go, the job that you want to do, and look at people that do that and see what they did in the past to set themselves up for success, and just work hard, study hard. Yeah.
Once again, thank you so much for coming and talking to us and inspiring students here at the University of Arizona. Once again, congratulations on your intern, and I wish you the best luck for this upcoming school year.
Thank you so much.